So, we are back in Premier League action after beating Blackpool last weekend in the FA Cup. This time, we're at the London Stadium against West Ham United. Anyone going to the game, don't forget your binoculars because you are miles away from the pitch. And yeah, good luck spotting them players on the pitch tomorrow. I won't be going. I don't like their stadium. I can't be arsed with that and struggling to see the players just like little dots in the middle of the pitch. So I'm swerving that game. But yeah, let's get into the preview for this game. Before I do that, I want to say thanks very much for all of the love I've had on the last video I did. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It goes into detail about the money situation at Arsenal. Well over 10,000 views on that video and gained over 400 subscribers. So big up every single one of you that's viewed that, liked it, commented, shared it around in WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups, etc, etc. And yeah, I just wanted to say thanks very much. If you're not subscribed and you're watching this, obviously you can subscribe. It is free. I don't charge for this shit. And yeah, let's get on to the preview. West Ham, 10th in the league. We played them earlier in the season and we were lucky to actually get out of that game with a win. Felipe Anderson run amok that day. That guy, I was at that game. I've never seen anyone so quick in my life. The geezer was just getting the ball and running straight at us. And we rode our luck. They had Snodgrass miss a sitter in the first half in stoppage time that Czech saved. Good save. Arnautovic scored, I think, that day. And yeah, going into stoppage time, they were breaking away. And I think it was Rob Holding did a nice little tactical foul, took one for the team. And then Socrates with a little bit of fuckery, picking up the ball and running off so they couldn't take a quick free kick. I think he got booked for that as well, so yeah. But they've got some good players. For me, their best player is out injured, and that's Lanzini. I think he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant little footballer. And he's not going to be back until next month, I believe. But Andy Carroll's back for them. And we all know what Andy Carroll does when he plays against Arsenal. He scores goals. Now, with our defence, the way we've been leaking goals recently, I'm not looking forward to Andy Carroll coming on with 20 minutes to go and the long balls being lumped into him, because the guy is probably the best attacker of a football in the air in the Premier League. The geezer is just a lump and he'll take everyone out and put the ball in the back of the net. So let's hope the game's out of sight for us by that stage. Obviously, Arnautovic, there's been talk all week about him going off to China. I think his brother is his agent and he's trying to manipulate that move. West Ham obviously don't want to sell him, but he looks the type to me. I mean, I've never met him. I can't really speak for him, but I do see him play. And for me, he looks like he's got a bit of an attitude problem. So it wouldn't surprise me if he forces his way out of that club. But he's a very good player and he's very dangerous. So we've got to be on our toes tomorrow. But the good thing for us is we have got nearly every single player in the squad back fit. Obviously, we know Rob Holding's out for the season. We know Danny Welbeck's out for the season. And Mkhitaryan is out injured. Other than that, everybody else is back. Bellerin, Mustafi, Mavropanos, Monreal, Ozil, they're all back. Everyone's back. And I'll tell you something, the biggest miss we've had so far, for me, is Hector Bellerin. That guy has been absolutely brilliant, especially going forward. I still think he's quite weak defensively, but going forward, he offers us so much. Very similar to how Kolasinac does on the left-hand side. But I think that this game's going to be... It's going to be closer than people may think, but I think it's going to be quite a high-scoring game because both teams can't really defend. I mean, we've been shambolic defensively, but I don't necessarily put that down to the defence itself. I put that down to too many of our midfielders not wanting to track back once they turn the ball over. So as soon as we lose it, they don't want to run back quick enough. And that then exposes our defence, and then before you know it, they've scored. West Ham... I don't know any West Ham fans really. I have a couple at best, and I don't really talk to them that often if I'm being honest. But when I have spoken to them this season, they've said that Pellegrini's turned them around since the start of the season. And they're doing pretty well now. Their results are still a little bit up and down, but it's similar to us. It's a learning curve. Pellegrini's a decent manager. He's won a Premier League title, for God's sake. So he knows what he's doing. Obviously, there's extra spice to this game as well with that little snake. that little fuckboy, as I call him, Samir Nasri, has signed for West Ham. And as far as I know, he's available for the game tomorrow as well. I think he played in the cup game that they won. And yeah, he's going to get absolutely rinsed tomorrow by our fans. Can't stand that bloke. But with that being said, I'm going to get into my 1 to 11 for this game. Before I do that, like I said, subscribe to the channel, like the content so I can see that you're liking it. And follow me on all social medias, LeeGunner82 on Twitter and Instagram. And you can subscribe to my Patreon. I fucked up and didn't put it in the description last night until, I actually didn't do it till today. So that will be in the description if you want to go and check that out. There's a couple of videos on there as well. For me, I'm going with Leno in goal. I think Leno's looked a little bit suspect recently, and I'm still not 100% convinced that he is the right goalkeeper to move us up a level. But it is early, it is his first season, and he has had a makeshift defence in front of him week in, week out for as long as I can remember. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt again, and I'm going to stick him in goal for this game. I'm going with a free at centre-back, and I am actually going to go with Mustafi, back from injury. Last time he played, I think, was Liverpool. I don't know what happened in that game. I really don't. For him, it was just a mare. But yeah, I think he went off in that game. I don't think he's played since then. I may stand corrected. Socrates in the middle. Again, he's had an up and down few weeks with us. One week he's looked good. The next week he's looked pretty average. But if he can get back to the form he showed at the first part of the season, then we've got a good centre-back there. Next to him, this goes against my better judgment, but I'm actually going to put Koscielny in there. I know he had a little bit of a back spasm up at Blackpool, but again, he's back in training, and I think that the physical side of the game, he never really had a problem with. It's just sometimes with Koscielny, he winds me up because I know he's decent, but he has one good game and then 3 shit games. But with the other 2 next to him, hopefully he has a good game against Arnautovic and co tomorrow. So that's my back 3. Wing backs, I am going with Kolasinac and Hector Bellerin. Both of these guys have created so many chances and so many goals for us this season that it'd be stupid not to play with them at the back. They get up and down. They're not great defensively, either of them, but that's where the 3 centre-backs come in. So when they go, they've got to split and make sure they cover the gaps. So that's my back line. Into midfield, I am going with Lucas Torreira. Again, he's had a bit of a shaky month or so. He's not looked great. He looked like he needed a rest. He obviously had that rest up at Blackpool, where Joe Willock shined. So he got sat down for that one. He'll be back for West Ham, that's for sure. Next to him, Granit Xhaka. Again, not been great recently. But then again, none of them have really, let's be real. But this season he has looked so much better than he has the last couple, and that's because he's got that proper defensive midfielder next to him. And that gives him a little bit more freedom to go and play his natural game, because he ain't a defensive midfielder, let's be honest. Now in front of them, I am going with the highest paid player at the club, Mesut Ozil. A lot of people that have subscribed to this channel since day 1 and my previous channel know that I'm not his biggest fan. But if he's fit and he's raring to go and he's not got a back spasm or a knee injury or anything like that, play him, because he's getting paid an absolute fortune, and we know that on his day he is top draw. So let's hope that tomorrow is his day, and let's hope that we see the best of him. Now in front of him, obviously that's going to be a 2. That's going to be Lacazette and Aubameyang. Both of these guys are scoring goals for fun, and long may that continue, because they're sort of papering over the cracks at the minute. Both of their goals, especially Aubameyang, who's obviously got more, but they're papering over the cracks and getting us out of these tight games where we're leaking goals. So let's hope that continues, and let's hope we can tighten up at the back. Like I said earlier, I do see this being a high-scoring game. I see it being quite tight as well. I can't see us going and battering them. Although we've got a good record on that ground. I think we've done pretty well there. I think Sanchez scored a hat-trick, I think it was, against them. I remember one where he sat the keeper down and dinked it over the top of him. And we do pretty well against West Ham. But again, it's what sort of Arsenal turns up. Is it the Arsenal that go and play against Southampton away? Or is it the Arsenal that go and blitz Fulham? Who knows? We'll find out at 12:30 tomorrow. Same with West Ham. One week they're really good and they go and score a few goals. The next week they leak shoddy goals. So I think this is going to be one of the games of the weekend, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go with a score prediction for this game of West Ham United 2, Arsenal 4. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Would you start with Mesut Ozil? Would you start with 2 up top? Would you start Koscielny? Even Bellerin, any of these players that are back from injury, would you start them straight away, or would you risk it and go with a makeshift defence again? Let me know. Leave it all in the comment section down below. And don't forget, the link for my Patreon will be in the description, as will the Twitter and Instagram links. If you go to the About section, I'm going to try and put the Patreon link in there as well, because that's where the other 2 are. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.